Hello, hi everyone. Welcome back to Skinoreal, where I talk all things skincare. So today I'm going to discuss a very important issue in skincare, and that is fear mongering. Whenever I give my recommendations out and there are products that has fragrance or alcohol, I get so many comments wherein you guys are like, oh, but this product has fragrance. Oh, but this product has alcohol. So I was like, let me address this issue for once and all so that I can give you guys a better clarity as to how things work in skincare. So today I'm only going to take up 3 ingredients in skincare that people are getting scared of for no reason at all, and I'll break down all the details for you. So starting with ingredient number 1, and that is alcohol in skincare. I have read so many articles wherein there will be categories of good alcohol or bad alcohol, trying alcohol in skincare and stuff like that. Alcohol is going to age you faster, it's going to destroy your skin barrier, etc, etc. But first, let's get down to the basics. Alcohol is divided into 2 categories. Number 1, low molecular alcohol. Number 2, high molecular alcohol. So the low molecular alcohol is the one that you consider drying alcohol, that is your denatured alcohol, and they are often used in skincare as solvents. They enhance the spreadability of the formula, and often they are really good for oily skin because it gives a very light feeling to the entire formula. So they're often used in sunscreens to make them feel that, to give them that liquidy feel. And more than often I feel people saying that this is going to destroy a skin barrier, but no, it's not going to. It is the dose that always makes the poison. And if you don't have a compromised skin barrier, it's not an issue for you. If you have a compromised skin barrier, yes, products that have low molecular alcohol in them might sting a bit, but that's about it. Nothing worse or nothing, you're not going to age or something like that. That's about it. And also I have seen that most of the time, even when I had a compromised skin barrier, I was able to tolerate products with lower concentrations of drying alcohol. But of course, high concentration used to sting my face, but that's about it. So if you have oily, acne prone skin, products that have low molecular alcohol will be really beneficial for you. This is the list that you can follow. These are some of the examples of low molecular weight alcohol in skincare. Now moving on to the high molecular weight alcohol or fatty alcohol or good alcohol in skincare. These are often used as emollients and emulsifiers in skincare products, and they are often used to moisturize your skin or give that thick feeling. Now people often think that these products are excellent and fatty alcohol is not bad for you at all. However, if you have oily, acne prone skin and you're using a product with high amounts of fatty alcohol, it can definitely be problematic for you as it can clog your pores. So be careful, don't just blindly follow anything that is going on online. If you have oily, acne prone skin, low molecular alcohol is in fact much better for you than these fatty alcohols. This is the list for fatty alcohol that you can follow. If you have dry skin, a compromised skin barrier, mature skin, then products with higher molecular alcohol is a better choice for you. There are also products that contain a mixture of both, and they are also fine to use. So what I'm trying to tell you is that contrary to what you guys have been hearing, there is no good or bad alcohol in skincare, and you really don't need to be scared of alcohol in skincare. I mean, think of it guys, La Roche-Posay, which is one of the huge brand for sunscreen, why would they still use low molecular alcohol in their formulas? Like, what is the need? It's not like they're cutting the cost or something. It's just that the elegant formula that we get in sunscreen is because of that. That's why you find most of these low molecular alcohol in sunscreens, to give you that weightless feeling. Now moving on to the ingredient number 2, and that is fragrance in skincare. Now I'll tell you what. I personally like my products to be fragrance free, but that is my personal choice. And I have discussed this before, that if a product is working really well for me and it has fragrance, I'm really not going to throw it out. Yes, of course, I remember using Purito scented version, ceramide cream, centella cream, and I liked it. And when they launched the unscented version, I prefer the unscented version, but that does not mean that if there is no alternative, I'll throw out the product. So fragrance again is a very personal choice in skincare, unless of course you are allergic to fragrance. Now you guys will ask me that if that is so, then I have seen Dr. Dre's video, I have seen Hiram's video, and they recommend going fragrance free. The thing is that first of all, Dr. Dre is a dermatologist, and when you are visiting a dermatologist, most of the patients that they see, they are already suffering from some compromised skin barrier and contact dermatitis and things like that. And fragrance, yes, indeed is one of the allergens. So they try to eliminate that from their patient's routine. So that's the reason most of the dermatologists recommend fragrance-free products. But again, this is not a general rule because I know so many dermats who recommend products with fragrance. Now with Harram, again, it's his personal choice. As I have said before, skincare is something very personal. It's not all black or all white. There's a gray area in between. Like for instance, I do love fragrance-free products or free of essential oil. Like I do like to avoid essential oil in skincare, but I love Dr. Jart products. I love Ren Skincare, and they do formulate with essential oils, and I'm completely fine with it. Yes, if lavender oil is high up on the ingredient list, I tend to break out. So I definitely avoid products with lavender oil. But apart from that, I'm fine. So please don't be so hard on yourself. Don't create this pressure. Like I see so many people, not enjoying their skincare anymore because they try to, they have this mental checklist and they are trying to tick the every box, and unfortunately in the end you are left with very few options that you might not even enjoy using personally. So just do what works for you and don't start blindly following everyone online. Like even if I'm saying something and you feel it is not aligning with your beliefs, then please guys, you do you. Like everyone has a right to personal opinion, and whatever I'm sharing with you, that's based on my personal experience and my research. Now the third ingredient that I want to talk about is again a very controversial one, and especially for oily acne prone skin, and that is silicones in skincare. I also have an Instagram post on this particular topic, so I'm going to link that in the description below. Feel free to go through that because I really dig deep in that particular post and have explained everything in detail. But for starters, silicones are not going to clog your pores. They are not going to give you acne. So stop looking for silicone-free moisturizers unless, of course, if you're allergic to it, because I know someone who's personally allergic to silicones and they can't use silicone-based products. So, of course, then you have to look for silicone-free options. But if you are using silicone-based products and your skin is doing fine, please continue using it. No need to throw it out. Silicone again is responsible for that nice and smooth texture in your skincare products, and there's a reason we have silicones in skincare. So don't just start throwing off products because someone is claiming that it's a bad ingredient altogether. No, it's not. It again depends upon a personal choice, and in fact I think for me personally, silicone based moisturizer works really well, and I'm really not looking for silicone free products, and I don't think you should either unless you are allergic to it. So that is all I have for you guys today. If you enjoy watching my video, please don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and comment down below other ingredients that you think is related to fear mongering in skincare, and I'll be more than happy to do another video for the same. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.